everyone? Welcome to the Stock Market Morning Prep video for Wednesday, August 26th. Yesterday, another wild day in the markets. We had China coming in Tuesday night, intervening once again to try to calm the markets, reducing their reserve requirements, the banks, and the lending rate. Gapped up rather nicely in the morning, and pretty much that was the gap. And I wanted to show this here on a 10-minute chart. This is what you were dealing with for the last 3 days if you were involved, and if not, stay away, because this is just volatile markets with no bids in sight, and there's absolutely light volume. Actually, volume has intensified, obviously, but with no bids, creating these whoosh moves, push lower, push higher, and we did okay up until here. We actually tried to rally, and then we just kind of drifted lower. And then at the last half hour, we lost all of our gains, over 500 Dow points, to end up down 180 plus points in the Dow. Crazy, crazy day. I wanted to point out two key points here. Is right here, 186 in the Dow, and then of course the low from the 24th, which would be 182. These are the two areas that I'm going to be watching. If we break here, we're going to flush down to here, this area here. If we get that flush and we can sustain and hold this area, I think the markets are due for a nice bounce going into next week, okay? I don't think the selling is over. I do think that with yesterday's reversal at the last half hour, just shows you how much selling is out there. And you have to be careful here, guys. And this is something that I'm not, we're obviously in the correctional phase. There's no question about that. But how long does it last, right? And we don't want to be catching that falling knife, if you will. Our indicators are still extremely deeply oversold, and we're looking for some buyers to step in at these certain levels. Now, again, keep an eye on this level here. This is going to be a big level this morning, and again, the low of 182.37 here. That'll be two key levels. If we can get that big flush lower again, I think that's going to be a good, decent buying opportunity. I'm going with a neutral posture this morning. I want to see what the market does. I don't like rushing into anything, especially when you have on alert, high volatility coming in like this, where you get these extreme moves, where the Dow, the S&P was in an 80-point range all of 2015 and part of 2014, and now we're getting 30, 40, 50 handle moves in a matter of hours. So that's something that you need to really be careful with, okay? Quickly on the indexes, no real change, but I just wanted to show you a couple of weekly charts which are disturbing. 2012 uptrend line that's been intact for over 3 years is now violated. We do have this big long-legged doji here. The week is not over, but I'll tell you, it's just a not a good sight when you see this whole move been violated. All of 2015 and just about all of 2014 given back in 3 days. Crazy stuff. As you can see, the 200-week moving average was right here. That will be, on the weekly chart, your next downside target, guys. You can see the volume zones. We came into some thin zones here. If we hold this area, if we cannot hold this area of 180, you'll flush down to 176, and then it's anybody else's guess. Spiders Daily, you can see here that October low still needs to hold, and as you can see, we are at these washout levels here in the RSI. So I am looking for some sort of retracement rally. We're up in the pre-market now, but again, up 37 handles the last few days is normal. It really isn't much of anything, but I want to see some stabilization in crude oil. That's important. If crude stocks can rally along with crude, the commodity itself, you may have something that where we can actually start to rally here and help the bulls push this market back up. Russell, another key component here. We need the Russell 2000 to hold this area here. As you can see, this is the weekly chart, guys. All of 2014 is given back in 3 days, and all of 2015. Okay, here's the weekly chart. Take a look at the daily chart again. We're still above the October lows, 2014 lows, but we're going to need to hold this area, okay? Very important. Remember, I kept saying Russell kind of tops before the other indexes do. Now, is this a sign that the market has topped and now we're going into a bear market? No, not at all. I think it's still a little too early to tell. But anything like this, when you have these moves like this happen outside of that Bollinger Band, you're going to get that snapback rally. And that is going to be key to see if the rally has legs or if the rally gets sold into. If the rally stops right in this area here, let's say into this zone, which was support, now going to be resistance, and if that stops right up in here, that's going to be a really bad sign that the markets have now reversed course and are now headed lower, and that's where we're going to be looking to sell rallies. We don't know at the moment if we're trading during the day. Yeah, you might want to be selling rallies at the moment, but I'm going to be looking to see if there's any clues that we may have some sort of a tradable low that we can trade into the next few days. Okay, right now that's still not the case. Transport weekly IYT, we did tag the 200. And as you can see here, lower lows and lower highs violated that 2012 uptrend line from 2012. Just an ugly looking chart. And we've been talking about this for months, saying something is wrong with the transports. Why are they not moving along with the markets? And obviously that does happen. And then you go into China. With the China situation, that's not going to be a good sign either. So as you can see here, we violated the October 2014 lows. We're way below it. We just rolled, so not looking good here at all within 3 days. So something to consider, guys, when you're trading. Keep an eye out for those transports. And we got the cues. The stocks breaking down, and Apple kind of held up pretty well. But again, we're going to need to see some participation from technology, banks, of course the Russell, and the transports. Keep that in mind. Also, when you're looking at the VIX, the VIX is outside of that. Outside of the Bollinger Band. When it closes back in, that does produce a buy signal for markets and a sell signal for the VIX. But that does not mean that we can't get a quick and violent move to the downside first before we move up. So just please keep that in mind when you're trading today. Have a great day, everybody. Be safe out there. We'll speak to you tomorrow. Take care.